Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Jan Erickson with Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for Thursday, the 29th of November, 2018. So numerologically, we have 11, 11, 11 energy today. 9 and 2 is 11, so I'm not going to reduce that because it's a master number. And it means illumination. So what are we going to find out today? We're kind of getting a triple whammy of it. So hopefully we're prepared. You know, we've been experiencing a lot of it lately, so we ought to be used to it by now. Everybody acting weird in the government. Our Secretary of State on why the CIA director wasn't there yesterday at the briefing, briefed them on the Khashoggi murder and dismemberment. I was asked to come here, and I'm here. Well, swell. Glad to see ya. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I don't think anybody does. I think it's the blind leading the blind, unfortunately. And anybody that does know something and knows how things are supposed to function are probably just sitting back there hoping that they don't get fired and that they still have a job when all this is said and done and they can go back to normal. But maybe our day of illumination here is going to reveal some more stuff. We'll be watching the trial of Jeffrey Epstein in Florida coming up here, or maybe it's about to start. I don't know. I don't know when it's starting. There was a 3 or 4 part series in a Miami newspaper that talks about all of the procurement of these young girls, these children, basically, you know, middle school and high school age girls, to take to service him, basically, and the men that he had in his little black book. So they know who they are. So perhaps the reckoning didn't come when his sham of a trial took place. Perhaps the reckoning is now. Perhaps this triple illumination, you know, month, day, and year 11s is signaling that, you know, the secrecy is over. And it's going to hit all aspects of his, you know, group, you know, all political parties, all, you know, professions. So we'll see what happens. These girls that had this happen to them, they deserve justice for what they did, what was done to them. He should have gone away for life, but that didn't happen. He was protected. Well, now all of that's going to come out too. And it turns out that the prosecutor for that is now has been given a position in the cabinet as labor secretary. Survivors know what that is, don't we? See, those of us that have experienced this sort of thing, whether it's in a trafficking sense or whether it's just, you know, in your own home, or whether it's, you know, from a religious figure in your life, a priest or a pastor or a bishop or whatever, you know, these things affect you forever, and they change how you see the world. The world is never a safe place for a survivor. No matter how much healing we do, we know that it's not a safe place. It's not a fear, it's a truth, and we just know. But it's because of all of the machinations that occur behind the scenes to keep these predators in play. Okay? You had the powers that be could have sent him away, but oh no, they structured it so that wouldn't really happen. And the girls who this happened to uh, who were procured for this man and all of his rich friends. They've never had any closure or vindication or anything. All that happened to them is they were cast aside by these powerful men. See a pattern here? And now the guy's the labor secretary. And the guy sitting in the White House is in his little playbook, is in Epstein's playbook. Yeah. There was a reason women were against this guy becoming president. There was a reason. We all got together when Kavanaugh, did his thing. There's a reason, because we're tired of this. We're tired of men getting away with it, whatever it is. We're just tired of it. So maybe today we're going to get some more information about all of that, or maybe more is going to come out about other things. Who knows? But we're in this year of illumination where things are becoming clear. People are speaking out. Now, you can look at some of this as people are just wanting to make a buck off of writing books, but the fact is that they're not just doing that. They're telling us what's going on, things we didn't know. Whether it's how he gets his money to build his hotels, his resorts, his golf resorts. How he gets his money to do everything. The truth of the type of businessman he actually is. Apparently, he's not paying everybody that refurbished the new hotel there in D.C. It's like, what, 3 or 4 million out he's being sued for because he won't pay. That's what he does. He doesn't pay. And that's supposed to make him a strong businessman who knows what's right for our country? No. So I don't know what all of this is going to be, but I've known about this whole thing, this whole scenario with Epstein for a long time. And I've been waiting for it to come out again. Because it's gonna. Well, now it has. So we'll see what happens to these guys, because it's on both sides of the political aisle, the people that are involved with this guy. Attorneys, politicians, presidents, past presidents. Yeah, there's a whole seedy underbelly to our existence, and I think it's going to start coming out. It needs to. The children that are trafficked, their lives are just destroyed, if not, ended. So I don't really care how it shakes out. Do you? I just want the truth. I want to know who the predators are. I don't care who they are. I really don't. I just want it all to come out, all the truth. And we're going to find that, unfortunately, this is at the heart of a lot of stuff that's going on in our world. It's almost like it's the currency used to compromise people so that all the dirty deals can get done. Yeah, think about it that way. It's pretty sick, isn't it? So let's count 13 and see what we have for today in this year, month, and day of illumination. We're going to draw another one. Yesterday we had the Queen of Cups. Today we have the Queen of Wands. Let's just go ahead and I'll draw the second card now rather than wait. We see a woman who is, she's holding, I'm going to just talk about it before I show you the card. Her cat is sitting in front of her. She's got a staff in one hand, which, they view as a wand, even though I'm sorry, I'm a martial artist and it's a staff, but whatever. Anyhow, and that's in her right hand, and in her left hand is a sunflower. So this is, she's got a cross above her head. on the throne. Let's look at it there. You see the typical Plantagenet dragons or lions or whatever that is. I think they're lions. They also have dragons. I can't tell though if that's a dragon or a lion. Above her head, two of them above there. A lot of Mars energy, so it's probably lion. You see the lion's heads down there on the arms of her throne. She kind of looks to the future. There's a progressive feel to a fire element, anything at all, whatever it is, whether it's a card or anything else that's a fire that corresponds with the fire element. There's a catalytic energy about it, so there's a progressiveness. So you would kind of expect her either to be looking at you or maybe into the future, because there's a directionality to the fire element, basically. But as a queen, see, she's going to be an authority figure, a female, somebody who's passionate, who's authoritative, also benevolent. She's got the sunflower in her hand, so you're looking at maybe some benevolence as well. She's talented. She's charming. The cat in front of her suggests she may be a witch. That could be her familiar. She's successful and energetic, but let's go ahead and count one more, count 13 again for one more card. So we can see if maybe where she's going. Well, we have another queen figure here in the 9 of Pentacles. It's not, you know, I mean, she's definitely a queen. She's got her falcon on her hand. And she's surrounded by all of her wealth and abundance. 9 is about completion. So basically what the queen could be doing is just sitting there and planning for the future, enjoying her settled life. Awareness, maybe. But I think I'm going to pull a third card, but I want to look here. Yeah, I mean, she's solitary, isn't she? She's solitary, and she is here too. There's a sense of solitariness about these women. But we still don't really have a sense of what this is about, do we? I mean, maybe she's looking to a time where things are no longer difficult, that things are in their place, that abundance is here if we would just, you know, see it. Well, we got another court card, so I have to draw another card. It's the Page of Cups. So undeveloped emotion, undeveloped potential, a message. Again, this is a day of illumination, a month and year of illumination. So some kind of a message that, well, new information coming out. So maybe this does have to do with what the new developments here down in Florida with that trial. It's not a criminal trial, by the way. At least I don't think it is. No, I don't think it is. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, this is the Two of Wands. So in a sense, this is sort of about waiting for your ship to come in. So we're waiting for maybe the truth to come in. A decision needs to be made. You know, you see him between two staffs or two wands. And whenever you see two like that, you can think of it as polarity, but theoretically, what it's usually thought of as is a doorway, a doorway into new experiences. But here, what we're seeing, and we're going to have to draw a rune, I think, to really get an idea of how all this comes together. But we've got a Queen of Wands, we've got a Page of Cups, we've got the Nine of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. So we started, I'm going to put this in order. So we started with the Queen, we moved to the Nine, and then we moved to the Page, and then we moved to the Two. So numerologically, we don't count the Queen or the Page. They don't actually have a number assigned. So what we have here is 9 and 2, again, is 11. So that aligns today. So that's illumination. So it seems like the Page is really then about the Page of Cups has got to then be about the new information that affects us emotionally. And of course, something like that having to do with predatory men, that would definitely be, emotion-based. Now, the Queen, in both the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles, I think what that is really saying, here's the thing about women. I guess men think we're stupid and we don't notice stuff, but we do. And we know what's going on in the world. We know that we're being oppressed. We know that we're no closer to any kind of balance between the genders, than we ever have been. In fact, in many ways, it's almost like it's the last ditch effort by misogyny and patriarchy to keep hold and keep control of everything. So it's almost like you're seeing the last ditch effort, and while all that's happening, the Queen is just sitting there waiting. Like, okay, we'll wait. We'll wait till you're done. We might take a stroll in the garden because we know what our truth is. We know where our abundance lies. We know what our legacy is. Do they? So here on this day of illumination, we've got the Page of Cups, who's talking about maybe a little bit of undeveloped potential and a message involving emotions. Let me look one more thing up here on the page. It's generally a youthful individual. But this one, being Cups, they're romantic, chivalrous, a little more integrated in terms of the divine feminine within. Dignified, they can be passionate and ruthless, but they can also indicate a visionary type of experience. And so it seems to me that on this 11th, this number 11 numerology day in this month and year of 11, then I think that we may be willing to imagine a different vision, for all of us. One that's perhaps maybe a little more balanced, like we get here. So we could be on the precipice then of a new, dichotomy between us. So that could be what's going on here. And on this, very special day, this 11-11-11 day. See, because you can have that and have it numerologically, not just the actual day that's an 11. So, and here we have Kenaz, or the torch. Again, another fire element. Rune. And so this one, Kenaz, is number 6. It's the rune of openings. So we can be opening to something new. That aligns well with the Page card, because basically what we're talking about is undeveloped potential, something new on the horizon, new beginnings, a new message, a new idea. So I wonder then if that's what we're really seeing here for today. Oops, there goes some cards on the floor. But Kenaz is also, as a 6th rune, you're also talking about higher self energies. But it awakens catalytic sorts of things within. So leadership skills, creativity, it reveals secrets. So again, we're gonna, you know, on this day of illumination, we're talking about revelation and intuition and understanding what's really going on. I don't know whether I'm hot or cold today, but that's basically what you're looking at, I think. So in light of the newest revelations regarding such a serious subject, there was also a news report along these same lines, and it has to do with the decisions made, okay, that seem to keep all of this disgusting stuff going on, to continue, all right? I read a thing where apparently the FBI is not doing background checks in one of the camps, one of the camps that's housing the teenagers. And it's a camp where rape and all kinds of things are going on. So apparently, we're not doing background checks, and people are being hired that are harming these innocent kids. So you see how whether it's prosecutors setting up a scenario for a defendant that they're prosecuting, it's going to give them the moon, because basically that guy was out of jail 6 days a week, not on house arrest. He could go to his island, he could do his business, he could go to New York City. He wasn't in prison that year he got, okay? He didn't serve really any time because he got to do as he pleased. Well, that took coordination, that took agreement, that took a decision by someone to allow this to happen. Don't know who all was involved, but you got to think that people in control of that moment were the ones that allowed this to happen. So consequently, it takes people to keep the truth from being revealed. It takes a concerted effort, okay? And if you live your life in such a way that you need all of that, well, then you're going to have all these people that you can compromise in order to keep you safe. And that seems to be the running theme these days, whether it's what's happening in government, whether it's, all this other nonsense and criminality that goes on at everyone's expense. But at the heart of this, we have innocent children that are being harmed in this process. So perhaps in this, month, year, and day of illumination, we've got supported by, Kenaz, the rune of openings and the rune of revealing secrets. We're waiting. We're waiting for the doorway to open to all of that. And maybe we'll start to see a different direction. And the women in this country and the children in this country can get back to the business of just being happy and safe and secure, to where we don't have to fear these other people that seem to want to affect all of that and ruin that for us. So anyhow, this was interesting. I didn't actually plan to even talk about what I read, but it was just so astonishing that it's almost like, I've been sitting here waiting for it and watching the news to see when we start to see some traction in the truth of pedophilia and trafficking of children, that we start to see that come out. We hear the horror stories in Hollywood. The Me Too movement is wrapped up in this. It's the belief structure of certain individuals, typically men, that think that they can lord power over everyone, whether it's other men in terms of compromising them to protect, their own nonsense that they're doing, or their crimes that they're committing, or whether it's just, using everybody for their own purpose, you see. All of this takes a coordinated effort of compromising and what does that mean? It means that they're either protecting them or they're participating in it. So if we're ever going to be able to get rid of all of that, we've got to bring it out into the light of day and see what really is going on. As ugly as it is, as awful as it is to look at, we need to look at it because it's still happening and it needs to end. So anyhow, something to think about or not for today. But if we can get some traction on this, then yay, team. It needs to happen. So anyhow, send some good thoughts to the way, send some good thoughts in the direction of the women in this lawsuit, because they're women now. They were girls when all this happened to them. And let's hope for some revelation that reveals the things we need to know, no matter what they are. So anyhow, today is Thursday, so I'll see you on Monday. Everyone have a lovely weekend, and be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.